Hey guys, so I'm gonna go and talk to you guys for a little bit. I have some tea with me, so let's go and chat a bit. So I watched a video yesterday about this woman. I think she said she was like 36 or something like that, and she was talking about in this video about how she felt like a failure because she doesn't have a career, she doesn't have children. She's never been married, and she's unemployed, blah, blah, blah. A lot of listing of things. And, she's not really healthy at the moment. And since she didn't feel so well inside, then she felt, it was showing on the outside. So I want to go and talk to you guys about this whole concept, because I think that when we are very young, we are taught to accomplish this or that, and you're supposed to follow a certain path, blah blah blah. I think everybody knows this. And when you get older, in your teens and in your 20s, you go and follow the route because that's all that you've known. Now I think that in these time periods, people are more realizing maybe that isn't what they want. And then when they don't meet certain accomplishments for that moment, then at a certain age or so, then they feel like they're this failure. And I have met so many people in my life, and I've talked to a lot of older people, and they told me about their life and how their path was. And almost all of them followed a certain path. The older generation, we're talking about like people in their 80s, 90s, 100s. Now, I think at this time period, people that are deciding to have children or not, or to get married or not, or to have a significant other or not, I think that more and more people are waking up, maybe that's not for them, and then they get a lot of ridicule for it or a lot of backlash for it. So I honestly think that when it comes to whatever you're supposed to be accomplishing, at the end of the day, you kind of go and realize all of it was kind of fluff, and it was just there to go and do what you're supposed to do kind of deal, and you forget what is really important. And I personally think in life is to experience things and to have fulfillment and happiness, and it looks different for everybody, and for a lot of people it is to have a significant other and to have children and to have a career. And I'm just realizing over time period that I think it was probably a year or two ago where I realized that accomplishments are just fluff. And once you accomplishment, you're going to be looking for something else to do and take up your time, and then you forget the feeling of happiness because you're just so focused on that. And I personally, I went through life, at a very young age, accomplishing a lot of things. And once I did accomplishment, I didn't feel exactly as happy as I thought in my mind. And I've done most things, the way that your path is supposed to go, right at this time period, around in your late 20s to 30s, you're getting married, you're having children, and you probably found your significant other, and you have a house, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It's not for everyone. And my form of happiness is to have a significant other, but it doesn't have to be. Like, I'd be okay with not. But it's a preference to have a significant other to go through adventures with, and then not to have children, and not to really base all my life on my career. And I thought I was a very career-oriented person, and I do whatever I was told by the employer. I'm a very good employee. Anyone that hires me, I do things very well, and I think that a lot of the time, the places that I worked at, if it was multiple chains and all that, they would fight over me. And it feels good and all that, but then you realize that at the end of the day, they really don't care about you. They only like you because you're a good worker, because you're producing more for what's in their pocket. And it's to some degree a little bit in your pocket, even more so if they like you, but it's just like a little more so. We're talking about like a couple of chocolate chips here. So that's kind of what I've been thinking a lot, is that we are told to accomplish this or that, and if you don't do this or that at a certain age, then you're just nothing, and you gave nothing. You're not valuable. And honestly, like, how sad is that? I think personally that your value is just existing and knowing that you have, like, you are just a valuable person because you're existing, and just being going through life and learning of things about yourself, and being a better person every single day, that is of value. And I think that people forget this, that if you are valuable, you raise this amount of children, like 5 or 6 children, and I've been condemned for choosing not to have children, or I don't believe in having so many children. And it's from my background, because how you grew up, it's gonna go and give you certain ideas when you get older. So I was adopted, my husband was adopted, and right when we were born, we would be put in an orphanage where we were treated awful in different ways for the both of us, but it was awful all around. And I personally believe, and so does he, the people that are on this earth should be taken care of and not be neglected. And so I have this strong belief that instead of producing more, why don't we just take care of the people already on this earth, or the animals that are already on this earth? I just think that is so valuable. And I've thought a lot of the time is I want to be that person. If someone cannot take care of a child, I want to be that person to be able to take over and provide whatever they need. And I think that we think that by the age of 36, 40, 50, I don't really know, then you are accomplished. But I have read the comments, and it's a whole mix of comments, and multiple people did follow this certain path, and some people found fulfillment in it. And I've asked older people, did you find fulfillment in following this certain path? And a lot of them say yes, and I know it's genuine. And I think that if that is what you've always wanted and envisioned, then you go do it. Just go and enjoy yourself. That's amazing. If you went and find fulfillment in that. But a lot of people, where they think that is where they will be fulfilled, and then they go and realize, oh, I don't find fulfillment in that. I'm very sad. And so there's that. And so I think that we need to figure out, where do we find fulfillment before we lock ourselves down to whatever path that is. And then when it comes to, there's been multiple people saying, in their 50s, 60s, that they're in the same exact boat where, no career, no significant other, no kids, unemployed, and all these other things, and, unhealthy, and to the point like they're bedridden. And I've actually met multiple people, in that, realm. And some people are happy and some people are not. Some people find fulfillment and, just going through life. And then, some people, they're unhappy because they didn't, find that career they wanted, or just found themselves, or immersed themselves in one of those paths. So I'm just saying that accomplishments are just fluff, and we just go and do it, and then we're looking for the next thing, and it's just, is it even worth it? And ask yourself, would you even find fulfillment in doing that certain path, focusing on that career, or staying at home, or just taking care of your pet? Some people, they stay at home and they have a bunch of cats. I've met multiple people like that, mostly women like that, where they have that. And then I think for men, they'll have like, a couple of dogs, and then that's it. But, if people find fulfillment in that, then that's great. I think that we should not press so hard on young people, young kids or teenagers, that you have to do a certain route and you have to go do this, bam, 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 or else you are just a completely, disposable being, and why the heck are you even here kind of deal. No, I think that we should more teach on the importance of just being a better person and just enjoying day by day of things, and not just focusing on things that has to be done constantly. And I went through a life where things had to be done, bam, 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 and, rushing everything and being well accomplished, blah, blah, blah. And it really is stressful. And for some people, that's great. That might be really amazing. For if you are that type of person, you find fulfillment in that, great. But some people, it does not work for them, and that's okay. And it's okay to, be, nearly 40, 50, 60, and not have everything, because, I think that they reflect back and they are seeing everybody else where they went and, followed the route and doing all this, and, they're pretending to be happy and they're not. And, just remind yourself that, it's your life, and you go and find fulfillment in what you want to do, and don't go and just, think of, oh, these have to be done, and, all these accomplishments have, it's gonna give me value. No, all it does is just stress you out and make you feel that in order to be valuable, you have to be all this, and it's very difficult. And I also think that there's been a lot of people where they go and realize, oh, I want, the career, the kids, the significant other, the house. And it's really hard to go and have all those things. I think normally most people think you have that at 30, and it's not the easiest thing to go and put yourself on a timer as if it's one of those timer things. I don't know what they're called, but when you flip it and the sand comes down, like that's so stressful. And then you think of, okay, these are the milestones and then I'm valuable. What? No, like you have to learn to, when you find fulfillment, is that of value is just being yourself and to go and enjoy life for what it is, and not to just go and think these are the things I have to do and to go and have everyone see me as valuable. So that is what I want to say about that video, because it really struck a chord with me, just seeing that this woman felt so down on herself that she didn't have any of those things, and seeing all the comments about how so many people in this world where they're in the exact same boat on, where they didn't do all that and they feel not valuable. And honestly, that's just so sad, because I think that we are not teaching, young people about this, and also for older people too, because I've seen older people, like way older, we're talking about like 70 or 80, where they're down on themselves for not life turning out the way they want. I'm like, no. Like, I tell them, I'm like, no, life is about an adventure, and you go and do the things that you want to do, and it's not going to go exactly according that you want. And to go and linger something that happened, oh my goodness, like 30 years ago. Like, there's been multiple people where they are still thinking about what happened 30 years ago. Not even yesterday, 30 years ago. And they say it over and over again. I'm just like, you have not found fulfillment and realize your value. And it's just really sad. And I think that we need to teach, all the gaps, the young kids, and then the middle ages and the older generation about, life is just about existing, and to go enjoy it, and to go and experience things, and to go and learn more about yourself, and to go and see what all there is to see. I think that we just forget that, and it's just so sad to see when people think that they're not valuable. But it's just a lesson that they're gonna have to learn day by day to go and find that fulfillment that they want, to find that happiness, and to realize they are of value.